Welcome back to the Dome Squad. Make sure you grab your front row seats because we're gonna dive right in today and talk about the most common mistake that I am seeing that you probably don't know you're making. So let's talk about it right now. Hey squad, welcome back. For anybody new to the channel, welcome. You're in the right place at the right time because today I'm going to put you in the right path. And if you're asking, who the heck do you think you are? My name is Zeals and I've been playing Idle Heroes for 3 years, but time doesn't make you an expert. When it comes to Idle Heroes, this is where all happens, the latest and the greatest news, and we always go balls to the walls deep, big dick deep when it comes to reviews and hero assessments. So if you like that kind of a stuff and you like some entertainment, make sure you join us and grab onto a seat by subscribing to the channel and hit that little bell dinger as well. Follow me on Instagram if you want to see me day to day and have the latest news for giveaways as well. Now supporting the squad today, we have Lex as well as Mr. Uh-oh. Thank you so much for your big balls and committing to the squad, and welcome to the Patreon army. Now, first things first, making mistakes is a part of life. It's nothing to be ashamed of. I've done it plenty times over and over. Let me tell you guys some of my personal horror stories. When I was a buck wild naked noob, I went into that guild shop, yeah, with all those coins, and I purchased everything off the shelves. Ooh. Another time, I just wanted to make 3 armor pieces for my daily, but instead I forged all of them. Ooh. And another time, my dog got on while I was asleep, and because I didn't lock up my heroes, she proceeded to alter all of them. Ooh. And one time when I thought Fat Moo was Thanos plus Deathwing and went all in. Alright guys, alright. We all have our fair share of mistakes, and there are plenty of mistakes that we can make. I have a dedicated channel all about making mistakes and sharing them on my Discord. We have a therapy group session every week on Thursday, 9 p.m. Pacific, of course. However, as a doctor, what I want to talk to you guys today is one of the biggest mistakes. No, it's not as big as altering your heroes when you're drunk, but I'm talking about the scale. I'm talking about the amount of people making this without even knowing about it. So let's get right in it. When I started the game, getting a 6-star hero was an achievement. A 9-star hero was the cap. Then they introduced the 10-star system, and every year since then we have the E3, the Enable 3, the 13-star, and now today, living la vida loca in Guadalajara, Mexico, we have the crazy Enable 5 system, the 15-star. And pretty much when it comes to everything in this game, when it comes to progress, you have to just raise the roof because the developers have raised the roof. So the early game has completely changed since the 9-star and the 10-star era, and with the implementation of Enables E3 and now today's E5, we have to completely change our early game. We have to adapt. And what are you even talking about? What I'm talking about is you have to rush one hero. Give that love to your one hero. I know it's strange. You see all these advertisements from Idle Heroes and it's all about building your team and having a roster, but it's quite the opposite, and that's where people make the most mistakes. And I see this literally like 13 times a day. I see this everywhere I go, in my Discord, in my lineup help thread, in Reddit. Everybody's making it, so this video has been overdue for months, and I don't know why not a lot of people are talking about this. So what I'm saying is you gotta pick one hero and just lock it in and build that hero up to E5. Max him or her out. So what are some of those heroes, Zeals? I'm talking about Penny, I'm talking about Garuda, Valkyrie, Cthulhu, as well as Horus. Yes, there are also other heroes to bring up if you are not lucky, and I'm going to go into intense detail as to why you should be building those heroes in a follow-up, as well as which heroes you should make as food to fuel your first E5. Now, you need to select a hero depending on what you like in the game. PvE, PvP, is it CLN, is it the boss fights? That we'll discuss in the next video. However, in most scenarios, unless you're heavily spending, you don't have that kind of a luxury to pick. It all boils down to, did you get lucky with the copies? And that's where you need to focus your resources and energy and time on, because resource and time is everything in this game. It's all about hitting milestones like Seal and in the Aspen Dungeon to increase your resource generation. And the fastest way to do that is not to have a well-balanced breakfast or a lineup. It's all about just focusing. Bunch of 6 and 9 stars laying around. No, you just want to focus on that Penny or Cthulhu or Valkyrie or Garuda or Horus. Of course, there are heroes that are more accessible. For example, Horus being in Brave Trials, but that's coming in the next video. So once you do have the copies, dedicate into that hero. Give it some love with resources. And here I go again talking about resources. Why can't I just build a bunch of 6 stars or 9 stars or 10 stars? Because you're spreading your resources. I'm talking about gold and dust that you are desperately needing in the early game to up your game when it comes to upgrading your guild tech, your monster, your hero's level, and your stone, of course. So you need to not spread your resources too thin. And what I mean by honing and locking in that hero is not locking it just in the game. What I'm talking about is increasing your odds to get those copies, whether it be through Prophet Orbs during the Prophet Orb events or the Super Wishing Fountain, as well as saving smart and waiting for the opportune time to go nuts when they do offer the heroes through events like we just did with Miss Penny. And I get these questions or comments from time to time. Zeals, why don't you have a 5-star or a 6-star or a 9-star or even a 10-star tier list? That would help the community so much. No, that is freaking wrong. By me making those tier lists, I'm actually not doing you a service. All I'm doing is money grabbing and just trying to get some views and some praise. For example, if I told you to build a Nakia because she's awesome at 9-star or 10-star, but then at E5, she's not going to carry you in the Aspen Dungeon or Seal Land or other aspects of the game where it's really important to maximize your resource generation, then I am doing you a disservice. I am lying to you. I am hurting your progress. So that's why there's no point for me to not only make a 5-star or a 6-star or 9-star Unimax, but there's no point for me to even make a video about it because I don't want to give the wrong message for you to go out there and build this hero, because at E5 you're going to regret it. We're talking about a niche PvP hero that is fading away with the aura change. So what you guys pretty much need is this video and the heroes that I already said: Horus, Cthulhu, Valkyrie, Penny, and Garuda. If you don't have those copies, then we could talk about other heroes that we can work on in the meantime in the next video, as I said. Once again, I said there are hundreds of examples, but let's look at this one. What do you guys notice? Is there anything wrong with this picture? I mean, at first glance, it looks nice. We got some high tier heroes up in there in PvE and PvP tier lists that I make, but this is something that I want you guys to ignore in the early game. Ignore those tier lists. It's good to know which heroes to hold on to, but we didn't say go out and build it. So you see the Heart Watcher, Vesa, Cthulhu, Sigmund at 9-star. Awesome heroes to have, and yes, he is going to do decently right now in the short term, do well in PvE fights. However, had he rushed his Horus instead, as you see, we have an extra Horus copy. We can get him from the Glorious Temple, we can get him from the Brave Trials, we can get him from the Super Wishing Fountain. You guys know the drill. So the mistake isn't that he is building awesome heroes. These heroes are great. That is not a mistake. It's the timing of building these heroes. And the time that you lose is going to depend on how long it takes you to get up another 9-star hero in place of Vesa or Cthulhu or Sigmund or Heart Watcher, because you want to hold on to those high tier heroes. So what I'm seeing right now is that this Horus could have been E1 or E2 or even E3. However, that's not what we are seeing. We have to wait weeks, maybe even months, to get the 9 stars built up again, because he has already spent his resources into that Heart Watcher, Vesa, Cthulhu, and Sigmund. Not only that, he has spent the gold and other resources that he should have spent focusing on that Horus, Guild Tech, doing the Blacksmith event, upgrading his monster. There are tons of places to spend your gold on, and an E3 Horus is going to do better in the long term, whether it be doing more damage against the bosses or increasing your resource generation, which is what it's all about. The faster you can reach higher levels in Seal Land and in the Aspen Dungeon is going to tremendously affect your resource generation, so that you can pump out more copies, pump out more gold and dust, so you can fuel your team into a well-built, sexy beast of a machine. This guy is in an awful mess, and I'm already sorry that he has to feel this roadblock. He doesn't know what to do. He has to come on Discord on my show and ask whether he should fodder his 9-star Vesa or his Heart Watcher or his Sigmund or Cthulhu. Because that's a tough decision to make because he's already grown attached to him and he could have completely avoided this situation. And not only that, progress even further than he is now, saving time. But oh Zeals, it's only E1 or E2 compared to a 10-star Horus or Penny. Okay, it may look like that on paper, but how many months is it going to take to make the 2 9-star foods? And in an alternative universe, if you had that E2 Horus, how much further could you have progressed today in Sealand and in the Aspen dungeon? So you're ultimately losing time, not only catching up to yourself, but losing the time that you could have progressed further today. The final take-home message is this. What did the game give you in the first month? Is it Penny, Horus, Cthulhu, Valkyrie, or Garuda? If you got 2 or 3 pennies, or 2 or 3 Horus or Valkyries, hone in on that hero. If you got the pennies, mwah, congratulations. The other factions, Abyss, Forest, and Shadow should be dedicated into pumping out 9-star food for that penny. I'm not saying use tier 1 heroes, keep them in your bags for a later time. And that is why reviewing heroes at their max state at E5 is such an important thing, so I can tell you guys whether it's worth building this hero or not. Anyways, that's enough from the doc today. This should have been a top priority video. It's the most important guide for idlers in 2019 and 2020. Hopefully you found it helpful. If you made any mistakes, share it down below so people who are new to this game can read your story and they can avoid the mistakes themselves. The #1 mistake that you can make is walking away here today without subscribing to your boy, so make sure you do that. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up, and if you guys give this video 600 thumbs, I'm going to give an account away. I'll showcase that, give more details on that in the next video. Let's see what happens. You control the fate. I'll see you in the next video. I'm out.